What's going on, my fellow Kino Lords? So I just got out of a screening for Alien Romulus in IMAX, and Alien Romulus is a movie that, for me personally, it's been impossible to kind of avoid the initial reactions to. They've kind of been all over the place in my film circle. I've had people say that it's an awful, trash, derivative movie that doesn't need to exist. I've heard people say it's fantastic and one of the best Alien movies to come out. And some people have just been said, like, it's a whatever movie, like, it's fine, but that's it. So, for me personally, in terms of reactions, it's just been divisive and all over the goddamn place. So that made me honestly more excited to check this film out and give you guys my personal thoughts on it. And this is a film written and directed by Fede Alvarez, who, I mean, I've only seen the Evil Dead remake and Don't Breathe, and I'm not really a fan of the Evil Dead remake personally. I remember when I first watched it in theaters, I dug it, but after rewatch, it's not really my thing. There's things about it that are good, but overall, the movie's kind of mid to me. Don't Breathe, I thought was decent. It's a decent suspenseful horror movie. And walking out of Alien Romulus, this is definitely by far his best work. And it's hard to call this film his work because it's so much like the original Alien movie. But like in terms of his directing talents and his ambition, I think this is his best one for sure. It's not even close. Because I really, really like this movie, guys. I thought this movie was fucking gnarly. And look, you know, is it really providing anything new or fresh to the whole Alien concept? Of course not, but it wasn't really trying to do that. This film, in my opinion, is trying to go back to basics. In a way, it's kind of like a throwback movie to the original one. And if that's not what you want to see, then, you know, fair enough. But I think it's a little bit unfair to critique this movie on something that it wasn't even originally trying to do. And it does something, I mean, yes, look, like, it's like I said, it's very much like the original Alien movie conceptually, character-wise, structurally, it's very, very similar. But it does do something kind of wild there at the end. The finale of this movie is kind of bonkers. I mean, again, I think in terms of narrative and what happens, it's still very similar. But in terms of some things conceptually speaking, I think it's kind of fucking crazy. And it might work for some people, it might not. I can see some people finding the finale of this movie kind of goofy or something. But it really worked for me personally. In terms of creature design, and in terms of also like some kind of theorizing and explaining how we got to the movie Prometheus in a way was really cool. Prometheus is another movie that I actually really, really like. Honestly, when it comes to the new Alien movies, I know it's a little bit of a side note, but I'll get back to the review in a second. But when it comes to the new Alien movies, I've actually really dug them. Like, Prometheus is not technically an Alien movie, but it's in the Alien world. And I really dug that movie, as I mentioned. And even Alien Covenant. I remember when it came out, I didn't get a lot of shit, but I felt very alone, you know, when giving my opinion on that movie, because I really enjoyed it. Yes, it's super flawed, but it was just super entertaining, and I was so engaged by it. And I don't know, maybe if I watched it now, I wouldn't like it as much. I don't know. I haven't seen it since really theaters, but I liked it so much then that I bought the Blu-ray for it. So I don't know what it is, but like, so, I mean, the new Alien movies, I like them a lot. And this one, I really, really like a lot. The lead performance by Kaylee Spaney, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but she's awesome. I don't know what it is about her as an actress, but I really like her a lot. Loved her in Civil War, loved her in Priscilla, even though I wasn't like that huge on Priscilla. I thought she was great in that movie. And she fucking kicks ass in this movie too. And again, I don't necessarily know what it is. I think it might just be the fact that when it comes to her acting abilities, I feel like she has a very natural talent and a very natural way of embodying characters and giving a performance. I feel like she's never overdoing it or underdoing it. It always feels natural and right. And again, I might be alone. I'm still just kind of speculating why I like her so much, but I think that's kind of what it is. And she's really, really great in this movie. Like, really great, lead woman for this movie, especially considering she had some giant footsteps to follow with Sigourney Weaver in the original Alien movie. And I think that she did a great job. I really liked her in this. Again, in this movie, she kind of has to be like, she has to be a strong female role, but at the same time, she's like a scream queen. And she just has to embody terror and suspense incredibly well. Also has to, embody some emotional scenes, and I thought she was really great. Really, so far, really, really like her as an actress quite a bit. David Johnson, so these are the two standout performances, Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson. He plays the AI character because you can't have a good Alien movie without a good AI character and a good AI performance, because his performance in this movie I thought was also really, really well done. I don't think I could, obviously I don't have any ambitions in acting, but if I was an actor, I will be pretty frightened to play an AI character. It just seems like something that is kind of difficult to get right, because you have to kind of find a sweet spot that seems really awkward to hit. And I think he did it just right in this movie. But yeah, look, again, it's again, don't go into this movie expecting it to reinvent the wheel on the Alien franchise. Just go in expecting an incredibly suspenseful and engaging movie with a lot of that just like amazing, graphic, slimy, gross out sci-fi horror, because it definitely delivers there, in my opinion. There's a lot of that in this movie, and I thought it was awesome. And also, like, expect some just, straight up guns blazing action sequences. Like, there's a moment, this movie in a way it's mostly like the original Alien, but there's definitely this one scene in particular that reminded me a lot of Aliens. Just with like, shootout scenes of just gunning down xenomorphs. I thought it was really fucking cool. And in a way, like, this movie kind of reminded me of a video game. And I thought maybe that's something that'll turn off people. But I thought it was kind of cool. Like, I kind of like just the way that, we see these characters. And as the film progresses, they kind of have these different situations and stages of how they have to survive and get through the situation. Whether it's staying completely quiet and calm, whether it's, trying to navigate through the alien acid blood through this like zero gravity scene. There's like a lot of scenes where, again, like would make like great video game gameplay. I would love to play a video game based on this movie. I know there's already like Alien video games, so that might be pointless, but it did seem very like video game like, and it actually worked for me. Like, it actually worked. I thought, again, in terms of suspense and engagement, it's really, really effective. And yeah, like, I don't know, like, I just think in terms of Fede Alvarez, this is something that I've noticed about all of his films, even the ones that I don't like the original, not the original, the Evil Dead remake. One thing that I noticed at all his films is that he does have a talent for building suspense. Whether it be through the use, the creative use of sound design, the movement of the camera, the way that he directs his actors during situations. Conceptually speaking, he just always has something there to really elevate the suspense more than your average director, and I think that's kind of what has gotten him so far in his film career. And he kills that. Like, everything that is good about him is all present here. And luckily he has something that is already great, like the original Alien movie, to build off of and really use his talents to the best of his abilities. Because it's all here. And again, like, You know what? Before I get into that, one other thing that I really liked about this movie was the use of special effects. There's a lot. I mean, sure, there's some CGI here and there, and you can't get away with, not using CGI. But, like, for the most part, the CGI really wasn't noticeable, and there is definitely a lot of practical effects in this movie. And I really, really loved that. Like, there's so much prop work and so much attention to detail when it comes to these practical effects that I really, really loved. Just makes the film feel more immersive, more grimy, and just, again, just feels more like realistic. And it doesn't, and again, just there's not this overuse of CGI that just takes me out and makes me feel like I am just watching like a fake movie. It feels, very rewarding and very earned and very immersive. And I love the way this movie used practical effects. I thought it was awesome. And again, like this, there's a lot of really graphic and gnarly fucking scenes, especially in the third act. There's a whole scene that happens in a cryogenic sleep chamber thing with this woman character. And I was like, holy shit. Just kind of like burying myself in the seat because I was just like, damn. It's really, really going there, and I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I love that it went there, and I love that. I think it's one thing I've always loved about the Alien movies is that it's like pure, unfiltered, R-rated sci-fi graphic horror, and this movie delivers all of that. So, I don't know. Look, I really like this movie a lot. I liked it. Sue me. I liked it a lot. I don't know how many of you guys are going to feel this way. Maybe I am just easily pleased at this point. I don't know. Maybe I'm a shitty critic for that. I don't know. But I really like this movie. I mean, I don't really have, like, the biggest criticisms in the world. I mean, really the biggest criticism I can give it is that there's some lines of dialogue that explain character information that I feel like could have been handled and displayed in a much more creative way, in a much more impactful way. But it's only like in the first act. Like after that point, it's just kind of just pure suspense, pure action, pure thrill, and it's not a big deal. And again, I guess a criticism would be that it is like nothing all that new, and doesn't really do much to add any to kind of like elevate conceptually what Alien has done already. But again, it's hard to really criticize it for that when that's not what the movie's goal was. I mean, sure, the movie's goal can work for you or not, but to me, the goal worked. It was very effective, and I had so much fun with it. I was very immersed into everything that was going on. So, yeah, I don't know. I highly recommend this movie. I mean, I watched it in IMAX. Definitely awesome. I mean, usually I like to watch in Dolby, but IMAX just fit my schedule this time, so that's what I did. But definitely go to the theater and watch this movie. I think that's the best way to experience this. And yeah, I don't know. It's a great movie, guys. I thought it was great, personally. If you don't like it and you go see it, sorry. But personally, I really, really liked it. So I'm gonna give Alien Romulus a soft 8 out of 10 for now. Just thought it was a very effective, very engaging, just super fucking, like, and a lot of, again, very graphic, but just awesome, and just a whole lot of fun. I don't know. I'm just rambling into saying shit at this point. But just know that I thought it was great. But that's all I got to say, guys. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It's nice to come out of the theater just having a lot of fun with the movie. But yeah, that's all I got to say, y'all. Hope you guys really enjoyed this review. If you really liked it, please give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.